How did the Virgin Mary die? The mystery of Mary's final moments has intrigued believers for centuries. Was she assumed into heaven alive, or did she experience a natural death? In this video, we explore the Virgin Mary's death mystery, the Assumption of Mary and historical views on Mary's passing, discover legends of Mary's last moments, biblical accounts of Mary's death, and how Virgin Mary in art and death continues to inspire faith. Watch now to uncover the truth behind Mary's final chapter. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more faith-based content. How did Virgin Mary die? You might be shocked. The final chapter of the Virgin Mary's life is one of the most mysterious and debated topics in Christian history. While the Bible provides little detail about the Virgin Mary's death, various traditions, historical accounts, and legends attempt to piece together the story of her passing. Was she taken to heaven alive, or did she experience a natural death? The mystery of Mary's final moments continues to captivate scholars, theologians, and believers alike. Let's explore the different perspectives on the death of the Mother of God. The Assumption of Mary, a central belief. One of the most widely held beliefs regarding the Virgin Mary's death is the Assumption of Mary. This doctrine, officially declared by Pope Pius V in 1950, states that Mary was taken up body and soul into heaven. However, it does not explicitly confirm whether she died before the Assumption or was taken alive. Catholic tradition suggests that Mary experienced a peaceful passing, often called the dormition, or falling asleep, before her Assumption. Eastern Orthodox Christians also hold a similar belief, celebrating the dormition of the Theotokos as a major feast day. Legends of Mary's passing. Several legends of Mary's passing attempt to fill in the gaps left by Scripture and history. These stories, mostly drawn from apocryphal texts and early Christian writings, depict Mary's final days and her transition to the afterlife. One such legend suggests that the apostles, scattered across different lands, were miraculously gathered in Jerusalem at the time of Mary's passing. According to this account, Mary was surrounded by her closest followers, including St. John, who took care of her after Jesus' crucifixion. Another tradition holds that Mary was buried, but when her tomb was later opened, it was found empty, reinforcing the belief in her bodily assumption into heaven. These accounts, though not found in the Bible, have been passed down through generations and remain a significant part of Christian tradition. Biblical accounts of Mary's death. What do the Scriptures say? Surprisingly, biblical accounts of Mary's death are non-existent. The New Testament provides very little information about the Virgin Mary's later years. The last direct mention of Mary occurs in the book of Acts, Acts 1:14, where she is seen praying with the apostles after Jesus' ascension. Since the Bible does not record Mary's death, scholars and theologians rely on other historical and theological sources to speculate about her final days. While Scripture is silent on this subject, early Christian writers and church fathers provide various insights into her passing. Historical views on Mary's death. The historical views on Mary's death vary across Christian traditions. Some scholars believe Mary lived in Jerusalem until her death, while others suggest she spent her final years in Ephesus, where St. John is believed to have settled. Early Christian writings, such as the Transitus Mariae, the Passing of Mary, describe her last moments and transition to heaven, but these texts are considered apocryphal and not part of the official biblical canon. Despite this, they have shaped Christian understanding of Mary's departure from the earthly realm. Virgin Mary, afterlife. Beliefs. What happened to Mary after her passing? Different Christian traditions offer varied Virgin Mary afterlife beliefs. The Catholic Church's dogma of the Assumption teaches that she was taken into heaven, body and soul, without experiencing decay. The Eastern Orthodox Church similarly upholds the Dormition, but emphasizes that she was resurrected before ascending. Other Christian groups, such as some Protestant denominations, do not recognize the Assumption as a biblical doctrine and believe that Mary experienced death like any other human. Despite these differing views, Mary's role in the afterlife remains a profound aspect of Christian devotion, with many believers praying for her intercession. The death of the Mother of God, a mystery for the ages. The death of the Mother of God is one of the great enigmas of Christian history. While Catholic and Orthodox traditions commemorate her passing with solemn feasts, the details remain speculative. Whether she experienced a natural death or was taken to heaven without dying, Mary's departure continues to be a subject of theological reflection and devotion. The idea of Mary's Assumption has inspired countless works of art, literature, and religious celebrations. The mystery surrounding her passing only adds to her sacred and revered status in Christianity. Virgin Mary in art and death, a lasting legacy. Throughout history, the Virgin Mary in art and death has been a significant theme for painters, sculptors, and theologians. Artistic representations of her Assumption, Dormition, and coronation in heaven have been widely depicted in Christian iconography. One of the most famous artistic depictions is Titian's Assumption of the Virgin, which captures Mary being lifted to the heavens in radiant glory. Similarly, Byzantine and Renaissance artists created stunning frescoes and mosaics that illustrate Mary's transition from earthly life to heavenly splendor. These works of art not only reflect theological beliefs but also serve as a source of inspiration for countless believers who venerate Mary as the Queen of Heaven. Conclusion: the mystery remains. Despite centuries of theological debate and artistic interpretation, Mary's final chapter remains shrouded in mystery. Was she assumed into heaven alive, or did she first experience a natural death? The lack of biblical records and the diversity of Christian traditions mean that her passing will likely remain a subject of faith rather than historical certainty. Regardless of the exact details, the Virgin Mary's death or Assumption continues to be a powerful and revered event in Christian tradition. Whether through legends, theological interpretations, or artistic representations, her legacy endures as a symbol of purity, devotion, and divine grace. Mary's story does not end with her death, but continues through the faith of millions who honor her as the Mother of God. The mystery of her final moments only adds to the depth and richness of her enduring spiritual presence.